Welcome to TLC for the Soul podcast, where soul meets spirit. You have entered into sacred space. I'm your host, TAMI Chambers, and I'm here to help you shine. Now let's get going on this podcast journey. Hello, friends. Hello, and welcome to this episode for the March Equinox prep. Kind of a short window between this show and the actual equinox, but I do as I'm guided. So we are here today with something just a little bit different. Rather than a long chat, you'll get increments of one. So I want to thank everyone for joining me here, whether you're returning, whether you're new and you're just checking us out to see if you like how we resonate with you or not. There's messages here for everyone that is called to watch or listen to this show today. This is part of our series 9, which is our preparation for the April May eclipse season. I want to thank everyone who's donated to the show, who's sent me beautiful comments and email communications about how you're resonating with the content and how it's really helped you. And not just you, I think it continues to be the most watched video if you're on YouTube, the most watched or listened to video on the show is the light language healing for pets. And I get a lot of comments from folks about how that particular light language healing helps their pets and how people put it on for their pets like almost every day. So I love that. And I'm very thankful that that's helpful. So today we have something a little bit different. I want to give a little bit of background here in the intro, but we are going to do a pick a card, but don't pop off yet because there's lots of messages here for you. And it's all about what's in your blind spot between like now and next week, the equinox, when the equinox energies start coming in next week. We've talked in the past about graduating from like these 5 and 9 year cycles, longer like Saturnian cycles. And now we are talking about graduating from a 3-year cycle. So just so the intel is all like, non-biased or whatever, non-built, whatever it is. I just want to make sure I'm wrapping us all in love light and light love and inviting in the spirit guides to overlight this show, Archangel Michael, Archangel Metatron, the Pleiadians, and a big cast of others supporting friends behind the scenes. But what's happening here is this graduation point of this 3-year cycle that started in 2020. So we're continuing to see old cycles close out in preparation for more new beginnings, more higher vibrational energy coming onto Gaia because of all the work that we've done, those of you watching, among many others out there, have done to raise your consciousness enough so that there's a high enough ratio of higher consciousness beings out there so that Gaia can continue to rise up in consciousness. And part of what this graduation ceremony means too is new assignments coming in for us. So that includes everybody listening, although the assignments, the things happening obviously are going to be different depending on your soul journey. No one here is locked into any one particular time frame or timeline. Each journey has its own trajectory, has its own timeline, time frame. That's why depending on which reading you listen to in this pick a card, you will get, you won't get a specific time frame for you. What the guides are giving is a timeline, a time frame that says that starting with the equinox here in March, and why do you say flattening out? Like flattening out Starting with the equinox in March and kind of, it's not really ending. It's kind of like everything peaks. Whatever new stuff is going to come in for you now in this new cycle that's starting, starts at the March equinox, peaks somewhere in between then and the June solstice. So that by the June solstice, you're already off and running on this new timeline, this new trajectory, this new partnership, this new whatever it is, career path, this new bringers of the light assignment. Because it sounds like people are getting, some people are getting brand new assignments. Some people are getting upgrades to existing assignments. Some people are going through many different changes all at once. It may be new assignments and new partnerships, old soul contracts ending, all of that. So take what resonates there and leave the rest. But somewhere in this next, what is this, March? I'm gonna sneeze. Somewhere in this next 3 months, some things are happening to catapult you into this new life. It's going to feel like a new life because with the equinox here, there's a whole lot of new energy coming in, and new energy streams coming from, we just keep saying beyond the beyond, like places we haven't reached out to or been able to access before because our consciousness hasn't been high enough. Planetary light beings and planetary light that's closer to source, the creator God, is able to reach us now because of our expanded consciousness. For those of you that are meditating a lot, your crown chakra is getting bigger, your connection to source is getting stronger, and you're able to access deeper wisdom. So, whereas now, like just as an example, we connect with like the Pleiadians and the Lyrans and planetary bodies and star systems that are closer to Gaia. We're going to be able to start getting wisdom from higher light beings that are even further out there and closer to source. So I think that's pretty exciting. In terms of the groups here, I'm going to show you in just a second, and I'll show you a picture of all 3 of the cards together so that you can pick your piles. There's messages for everyone. Depending on which group you pick, there's messages for you as for your own individual soul journey. Some piles have messages for you individually as well as some sort of divine counterpart contract that may be starting, a ramping up and coming into fruition between the equinox and the solstice. So pay attention to that. And some of you will be guided to watch more than one group. So trust that guidance, pay attention to that. And, it's perfectly fine to watch more than one group as you're guided because there's different, the messages are pretty different for each group. And there's some interesting synchronicities between a couple of groups that came out as well. So I'm going to show you the 3 cards. You can take your time, pick your group, and then we'll see you on the other side of that. And I do, in case anyone's skipped this intro, I do kind of at the beginning of the group kind of give some of the same intel that I just gave now, so that if you just did skip right to your group, you kind of have this background already. So this time right now is a time to celebrate all the work you've done over the past. We know you've been working on this for a while, but from 2020 to now, some pretty important work has been done so that enough of us could reach this higher light vibration and even allow some of this this newer light energy to start coming into Gaia. So congratulations on a job very well done. I know it's a lot of hard work because I've been doing the work too, and some of it has not been easy to do, but we've done it and we're here on the other side of this. And so I think we can celebrate now. So good for you. So let's just get into the cards for each group. So for group 1, so I was using my deck Pleiadian Power just to pick the cover cards for the group. So if group 1 is going to be Clara's Confidence, You're a Superstar. Group 2 is going to be Janine Couldn't Stop Talking Trash. And group 3 is Hope. When You Have Hope, anything is possible. So let's take a deep breath together. Check in with your guides. Use your pendulum or dowse or whatever card is calling out to you, or cards, like I said, because I think some of you are going to be destined. Some of you are destined to hear both information from more than one pile. I will show up another picture of the cards here in just a second if you need help choosing, and then there will be timestamps in the video description. And if you are listening to this, because I am going to put it on the podcast, if you're listening to this, then I do my best to try and describe each card as much detail as possible, but use your master eyes, your master senses to help you with this reading and assimilating and downloading the information within. So I want to thank you all so much for joining us here, and we will see you in your piles. Take care. Hello, pile one. Hello for those of you that chose pile one. Now, I don't know if I'm time stamping these or not. But if you chose pile one, then you chose Clara's Confidence. You're a superstar. And this is the messages for what's in your blind spot right now. So we're going to use some different decks here. And I haven't recorded the intro yet. I'm kind of doing this a little bit backwards on purpose. So I'm recording the piles first and then the intro last. But this is the March Equinox prep. This is things that maybe you're not aware of. Things that are important for you to know about before the equinox energies come through. So let's just see. I've got my newest tarot. This is not mine. This is so cute though. This is the Midnight City Tarot. It's all about New York City, and for whatever reason, I've been increasingly drawn to New York City lately. And so have the things that have been showing themselves to me. So maybe New York City, I don't know. Here, let's just see. Has some sort kind of magical powers. It's a magical portal. But let's see from the Midnight City Tarot, what's in your blind spot? You're a superstar and Clara's Confidence. Okay, we got two cards. We got, hold on a second. I don't know what's happening here with this thing. But we got the Fool card. I don't want to have to keep readjusting the focus because I think it's distracting, but it seems like it wants me to keep doing that. It's driving me crazy. We got the Fool card and the Tower card. And this Tower card says, this is like a, you know, that bell or whatever, like in New York, like you need to like ring up to like the intercom system or whatever, like in somebody's apartment. And this is immediate action required, certified mail. It's the Tower and then the Fool card. So there are some, geez, I hope I can remember to keep doing this because I know sometimes you guys sit there and it's blurry. There are some big changes coming for you that, and it's this equinox energies. Of course, everything is a new beginning, right? But there's some major stuff happening with this equinox. And we've been talking a lot on the show about cycles and rhythms and cycles closing out and 9-year cycles closing out. And this equinox this year is the closing out of what you've been working on the past 3 years, since 2020 to now. And this is another whole bunch of changes that you had to go through in order to be able to ride the waves of this new energy that's coming in from the equinox to the solstice in June. And I feel like this for you is like when I see the Tower card, typically, right, we get like kind of freaked out, like our world's turning upside down. There's lightning bolts and there's stuff going on. And this Tower card is a little bit different in that there's like some message or something coming for you that's going to change your world, going to kind of like rock your world a little bit and set you out on this new journey. Now, it could just be the packets of information, the downloads and such that are coming as part of the equinox energy stream that's flowing through. It could just be that these downloads or the new energies, whatever you're ready for now as part of this new adventure of the Fool, setting off on their new life. In this case, the person that created this deck, I was reading a little bit about the background of the deck, is she really wanted to start a new life in New York City, kind of work on art, work on her dreams, and she kind of not dropped everything, but she kind of dropped everything and packed a bag and moved to New York City and started a life there. And out of that kind of came, a whole new life and a whole new thing. But it took a lot of confidence for that to happen. And this deck is one of the results of that, and all the beautiful artwork and the colors and everything that have come from that, and just the love of self that was found from starting a new journey. And I think with the Tower card, I think your blind spot may be you feeling that you don't know if you're really ready for a new journey, a new leg of something, a new message coming through, a new life somewhere. And you chose clear as confidence because Spirit's saying you have graduated and of course you're ready for this. And what's happening between now and then is some residual kind of fears and things that you need to work through, just to kind of give yourself a little tune up. And I think you're also going to be shown how far you've really come. And this quest that you've been on each day, even though each day has been like maybe a challenge, that things have come up to help you build your confidence in yourself, in your own abilities, in who you are now, in this spiritual journey that you've been on. So let's bring my deck in, Loveland Spring Pack, and let's just enhance this story a little bit more, see where else it's going. The blind spot. What's in your blind spot? We got two more cards. We got, we help. Look up to the skies today, Star Child. Legions of distant family and friends are here to help your work and the planet. You are not alone. And with that comes Loveland Witch Supply. Time to brush up on your craft. Practice is key right now in order for you to move forward. One free eye of newt with every purchase. So the folks that are listening to this or watching this, no matter where you're getting this message, I'm including myself, we've been in this wave of healing for a while now. Way showers, not that they come and go, but way showers kind of come out in waves of those that have been on a spiritual journey, spiritual path, wanting to do service work in the world, but you can't just jump out there and do service. You kind of can, but it depends on the service work you want to do. But most people that are sharing with other people that are on the spiritual path have to go through their own experiences to have something to share with others, right? Because most of the examples that we give are things that have happened along the journey that have brought us to where we're at now and can be used as inspiration and guidance and healing tools for the others that we want to share this work with, right? So if the work that you're going to be doing has no prior experiences for you to share, then you're kind of left in this, like, what am I going to talk about? What would I talk about with people? I don't really have anything to share on this topic. I don't. I kind of have maybe some past life remembrances of doing something similar, but in this lifetime, I have nothing to share. And so you have been on this healing journey to have certain experiences so that whatever your work is in the world, whatever your service work is, you have some basis, some past experiences, some learning and teaching and stuff so that you can pay it forward with that information and help others. So your guides have been with you this whole entire time, working with you, bringing you these life experiences, and some of them, it has not been an easy ride. It has not been a ride for the faint of heart. But through it all, and looking back now, maybe you can start to connect the dots and see, like, look at this journey with a little bit of renewed excitement, I guess, that everything that you went through is not for nothing, not for naught. And that now you have this whole wealth, this whole treasure trove of experiences to work from, to share from, to use, and to inspire others, however you decide that you're going to be doing that. And so this Loveland Witch Supply is this whole treasure trove of your gifts and your sacred tools and things that you have that you've gathered along the way that you're going to be using as part of your life path now, this new phase of being put into spiritual service work. All right, so let's get a few more cards. What deck do I want to use? I'm going to use Spring Fling. This is my deck as well. So there's confidence. I think that you are not really, I think you kind of know it's there, but I don't think you're fully really recognizing how much you've done on yourself. And so I think your guides are stepping in to just say, like, hey, let's give credit where credit's due, and give yourself a pat on the back. Give yourself whatever it is, like a treat or whatever, and stand strong and powerful in the fact that you've come through this journey when maybe there were times along the way that you felt like you were not going to make it through. So, Spring Fling. Such a big deck. It's my new deck. I don't know, I made it so big, and I'm like, oh, I just kind of shuffle it. Nope, no, not going to. Anything else for group 1? Right, so we got 2 more cards. Cards are coming out in 2s. 2, 2, 2. All right, so 2 more cards. The first one is the Pentacles, and the second one, so it's the 10 of Pentacles. So this is how the tarot works in this deck. The things are separate, but if the cards come out together like this, then it's like a tarot card. So this is the 10 of Pentacles. And I feel like it's kind of a go. So the Pentacles card by itself, when I use it, like if it comes out like a yes or no type of reading, for me, it's like a yes because of the circles. A circle to me is like a yes, and a line would be like a no. So the 10 of Pentacles is telling you that you've graduated. You've done the work. You're ready. It's a yes. It's a go. It's time to move forward now. There's no more, these messages are very similar. There's no more dress rehearsal. The time is coming when you're going to be put into action in your service work, in your work in the world. It could mean a career change. It could mean an upgrade to what you're currently doing. And I don't think it's, for some of you, it's a surprise. For others, I think you know what it is, but you're just still not certain like how it's all going to happen. Like, you know what the work in the world is supposed to be, but I don't think you've really completely gotten the entire picture yet. And when is that entire picture supposed to show up? Spirit's saying over the next 3 to 4 months. Oh, now you give us timelines. Over the next 3 to 4 months, you're going to slowly start to get this. Yeah, this came out in another show too, where they said we're going to start getting previews of what's to come. So the closer we get to the activation, they keep saying the solstice, the closer we get to the solstice. So this equinox is kind of the bringing in of the energies. So between now and the equinox, you're clearing any little residual stuff that needs to be cleared before equinox energies come in. It doesn't feel like it's big stuff. It just feels like it's revisiting, like, is there anything else I need to work on for that final little clear out before the new moon and the equinox. And then between the equinox and the solstice, we've got eclipses, and we've been working on the show. We've been starting to do some prep work to raise our vibes and get us ready for the eclipses. And then the solstice is like this. What is the solstice? They just keep saying it's moving forward. Well, we're always moving forward. But the solstice is, they're saying the solstice is the next leg of the journey, has begun. So the next leg of the journey has begun. Yes, they're giving me chills. So between now, or not now, between the equinox and the solstice, the energies that are coming in to support your next leg of your journey, other way showers are calling it phases, like phase 1, phase 2. So phase 2, we'll just call it phase 2 to link up with what they're saying. Phase 1 was apparently all the work you've been doing from 2020 to now. Phase 2 is good. Yes, they're giving me chills. Phase 2 is like this next leg of your journey that gets started between the equinox and the solstice. Something comes in, something ramps up, something gets moving, some messages come forward, some people come into your life, something shifts, something changes, and that's like the catalyst. And then the new energies to support that whole thing getting off the ground come in at the solstice in June. So it's not like, yeah, okay, big chill. So it's not like nothing's happening until June. Because again, when I hear that, I'm like, oh, please, can I even make it that far? It's not like nothing's happening until June. It's that right now, well, first of all, we should be living in the now, right? So you know how it is with me and divine timing, but we should be living in the now. So right now, you're focused on clearing anything out that needs to be clearing out. Anything niggling, anything that's coming up before the new moon and the equinox, which when I'm recording this is like a week away. I'm recording this on the 14th of March. So the equinox and the new moon are on the 20 and 21 of March. And then between the equinox and the solstice, some things come in, whatever divine timing is happening, whatever things come in to support you on this phase 2 of your journey, start to line up, they're saying. And then come the solstice, it's go. So the energies come in, it's go, and it's time for you to get going and really get moving. So let's just see if there's any other, oh my God, I'm sitting down. I'm like moved down and sat down. I'm so tired today. This labyrinth of Dragonshire, just want any final messages for you? Group 1. Is that for me or for everybody? Yeah, I think, oh, they gave me a whole bunch of them. Okay, so the first one that came up, is this for everyone? Yeah, so they're saying you are toasted. So this is 333. This is from the happenstance. And the you are toasted is kind of like just what I said. I'm like, oh my God, I feel so tired. It's been a long, long journey. And let's just celebrate. If you get into some celebratory energy and don't get so hyped up about the time that it's taking, because I feel like, and someone else said this, I was watching a reading yesterday. Oh, their reading was, it was Liz at Charmed Intuition Tarot, and she said, she was doing a next 3 months reading. She's like, it's not that far away, really, when you think about it. We're in March. The equinox comes, and something gets set in motion for this new phase 2 of our journey. And then let's see, March, April, May, June. It's only it's only 3 months away. And by the solstice, you're already on the phase 2 path. So look forward to whatever stuff is coming up for you that's on your trajectory. Any new soul contracts, any new timelines, any new stuff that's supposed to kick off. Get excited, because it sounds like it's going to be showing up for those of you hearing this. Gosh, I know we've been saying this for so long. For those of you hearing this, it's supposed to kick off between March 21st and June 21st. It's really not that bad, right? So any other messages here we have are barakatata, earthing, rooting, grounding, solar rays, inner fire. This card comes up when it's when there's a lot of energy to ground. So I think you're going to be busy. You're going to start being busy, like grounding in all these new equinox energies, because it sounds like these equinox energies are newer, coming from further out in the astral realms, coming from planetary systems from beyond the beyond, that are ones that maybe are high vibe, but that we haven't really been in contact with before. So more you're going to be able to access more of that, and the light and the things that are coming in from source. You're going to be spending your time kind of grounding in new energies, deciding where you want to go. This is the blank rune in a way. Deciding where you want to go. Whenever this comes up, it's kind of like, well, you can kind of set the stage for what happens next, what you want to manifest next. I think once new energies come in to start the next phase of your journey, if it's you and a person, if it's a partnership, if it's a new role that you're playing, you're going to have some planning time to kind of either work together, work on your own, however you're going to be doing this, to kind of set the stage now for what happens for the next, what time frame, Spirit? 3 years. The next 3 years. Oh, the next 3 years. Okay. The next card that came out is the new moon. And the card that came out after that is time to take stock and enter the cave. So let's just focus on where we're at now, and know that everything is happening for your highest and greatest good. You asked for this. You've done the work, and now it's just time to navigate the new energies, do the stuff you've been doing for quite some time now, any clearing that needs to come up, and just get excited about what's to come. Is there anything else for pile 1? Okay, so that is it for pile 1. So I don't know if you've chosen more than one pile. If you haven't, then thank you for joining us here. And if you have, then we'll see you in the next pile. Thank you so much for joining us. Take care. Hello, friends. Hello. If you chose pile 2, this is Janine Couldn't Stop Talking Trash. And this is the What's in Your Blind Spot. And I haven't recorded the intro yet. I'm doing that after I do the piles, but I've just done pile 1, and let's just see where this goes, if this is anything different, because I feel like some of you are going to be watching more than one pile. So the first thing I want to bring out, and I'm interested because when this card comes up for me personally, there's a lot of things. Like, it could be some energy clearing, because there's a lot of like gray in the aura from all the stuff she's been talking about. Sometimes when I get this too, I can go on a like a lot of bad words, like a lot of throat chakra clearing, which are like stuff that needs to happen. So this is what is in your blind spot between, we're talking about the energies between now and the equinox next week when you, depending on when you watch this. So let's just get some additional cards to clarify like what this might mean for you. So I've got the Midnight City Tarot. This is my newest deck. This is set in New York City. I love it. I've been on this New York City kick lately. A lot of videos being recommended to me about New York City. So I don't know what's going on with New York City. We know it's a very magical portal, but let's just see what else do we need for pile 2 for Janine Couldn't Stop Talking Trash. You got, what is this? The Ace of Pentacles. And this is an acorn, and this is, I don't know if this is Central Park. In the book in the guidebook, the big guidebook, she has all the locations. But it's somewhere with trees, probably Central Park or some park up there, because everything on the cards is set there. And it looks to be like autumnish or yellow, which could also be the solar plexus chakra. That is not enough to tell me anything. So they want me to go to the bottom of the deck. 8 of Wands. This is fast-moving energy. Well, apparently we're going to lay out a whole story before we start talking here. So let's get Loveland, my deck Loveland Spring Pack. I love how my cards look with this Midnight City Tarot deck. I love the colors. Actually, it's so funny too because I watched many flip throughs of this deck before I purchased it, and the colors look so vibrant on screen. And when I got it, I was like, oh, the colors aren't as, I mean, the colors are vibrant. It's a beautiful deck, but this deck looks really good on screen. The next deck, the card that came out for you is Peace in the Heart. As the beings of Loveland looked on, all they could ever want or need was right before their eyes. Peace within you and peace all around you. You are truly blessed. Okay, now I know where this is going. All right. So you are really manifesting what you want and what you desire. And in pile 1, we talked about the time frames for these energies. This whole kind of show is about. But if you haven't watched that pile, if you haven't watched the intro, then just a quick recap is this: what is in your blind spot is kind of what you need to be aware of between now and the equinox, which is, when I'm recording this, will be next week. So I'm recording this on the 14th of March. Equinox is the 21st. From the equinox to the solstice is this new energies, new go energies, this kind of a phase 2 of everything. So this phase, what we're calling phase 1, was started in 2020 and is ending now. So that's a 3-year cycle that you're completing. It's a graduation process, but it may have felt like it's taken freaking forever, right? And so with this what's in your blind spot, I feel like you feel like your dreams are not going to manifest. Like the things you want, the things you've been wishing on, the things that you could have probably started to work your magic on and manifest and plant the seeds in 2020, sometime in 2020, that you just feel like the road has been so long, it's taken forever. Maybe these things aren't going to manifest. Maybe it's just like, should stop trying. Maybe you should just like consider that seed, a dead seed, and just move on and do something else. And it's maybe even gotten to the point where, you've just been like, darn friggin' thing, you could just be in that energy of like, I'm mad as heck and I just can't take it anymore. And what Spirit's here to lift you up and tell you is, let's come back into peace. Let's get control of your emotions. This is a graduation ceremony, number 1. You've done a whole lot of work on yourself between 2020 and now. And it may have felt like, because nothing was happening with your wishes and all that, that it was some sort of like punishment phase, to where you were just kind of fed up with it all. And even though you've done all the work on yourself, I think you feel like they just keep saying like nothing's going to manifest, because you have had no physical evidence of anything coming from, you've gotten like tons and tons of signs, but you've had no physical manifestation yet. And so I think you feel like Spirit's just kind of forgotten about you. And Spirit's like, okay, let's come back into balance. I'm sorry, but personally, I feel like to emote and maybe say, some things like, dang, sugar, it does help in a sense to clear the energy rather than stuff it back down. Sometimes when I'm outside, like especially right now when it's still freaking blizzard and snowing, I'm like, freaking snow, blizzard, blah. I just go outside sometimes and just like scream therapy. I mean, not so people think I'm crazy, but I try, whatever. Sometimes I do go out and I'm like, but let's come back into a calm, peaceful state. This card is like spirits in control. Well, they are, right? Spirits in control. This is like a huge like peace dove and a huge heart. And these are like us, like the little souls, the people. This is like the people of Loveland. And it's like all of this is being managed from way beyond where you could even like realize or fathom the amount of coordination that's going on behind the scenes, and that it's not just about you and your journey. I mean, it is, obviously, but it's so much more than that. There's like this bigger picture that I think many people aren't even aware of how much the work that you're doing has affected and impacted and risen up, how it's raised up your whole soul group, your whole monad. They're giving me chills. This is not just like you were on a spiritual, well, we're on a spiritual journey, but in order for Gaia to raise in consciousness, the consciousness of everybody on Gaia has to raise also, right? And so soul groups are like or monad groups is kind of like, it's like the umbrella over some certain soul groups. So like there's soul groups within a higher umbrella, like called the monad. In order for the monad's vibe to be high, then so many souls in each soul group under the monad had to rise higher in consciousness. And so that means like you were one of the lucky ones to be chosen to focus on raising your vibration high enough, because not every soul, we talked about this in another show too, not every soul, or we're saying it was like the 80-20 rule, like not every soul in this lifetime is going to be enlightened and rise up and ascend and all that, right? The energies of Gaia are going to eventually push people, but it may not be in this lifetime. Realistically, like everybody that's here right now may not make it that far. Eventually, over the next, while, they don't want to give me time frame, but it's going to happen, right? But some of us volunteered to come here during this time and help raise the vibration high enough. We had to reach a certain quotient. You're giving me a word, I don't even know what quotidium or quotidia or whatever it is, but we had to reach a certain level, a certain percentage of high vibeness in order for even these energies that are coming through at this March equinox, even for those to be able to come to us. Slowly over time, we've been chipping away at the high vibe consciousness of the planet. And we've been able to reach this level of consciousness that has not been seen, really, they're saying, since Lemuria. And so that's why our show about New Lemuria, right? Or this year, our focus has been on New Lemuria. So Spirit wants you to see your part in the bigger picture, and to, when you start to feel a little grumbly about like, oh, my manifestation, it's coming. Hence the ace of coins and the 8 of wands. Spirit knows that it's been long. It's been a tough journey. And I think once the energy is once the energy is in place for this phase 2 of your journey to begin, which is from the equinox to the solstice in June, stuff's just going to start moving really, really fast. Your manifestation is just going to like pop up out of nowhere. It's going to kind of catch you off guard. And then because it'll be time for you to get moving. So phase 2 is like, it's time for you to get moving on this next part of your journey. You've done all the work that you could possibly do to get to this graduation point. And now you get to move forward with like a, what is that? Like a higher grade. It was like we're talking like we're in the military. Like you've been promoted, or you've gotten to a higher status or a higher grade of your work in the world. And so everything is just going to start taking off. So, okay, let's see. What deck is that? I already forgot. Oh, that's Loveland. So let's get Spring Fling. If there's anything else for Spring Fling. This is group 2. You got Gemini energy, the twins. What is this talking about? Can you clarify? Oh, they want me to get twin hearts. Oh, heck. Is this turning into like a relationship thing? This is partnerships they're talking about. Oh, sorry for the blurry camera. So this is my deck Twin Hearts. This is my love-ish deck, I guess. Let's see. All right, so we got Twin Hearts. Oh my God, you guys, this card keeps coming out for us. I don't know what's going on with the focus here. I'm trying to focus this there. Do I know you? Oh, this is funny. Do I know you, Tamber said, ready for a fight or anything else for that matter. The most handsome man she had ever seen in the mortal world was standing before her now. This is when Tamber reconciles. Is that what it's called? Reconciles with her divine counterpart. And the other card we got is Karmic Bonds. Pam, come on now. It seduced her. He wants you and you want it. What do you say? For old time's sake, it cajoled her again. Pamela Cartwright's conscience in The Stallion Returns. Okay, this little group 2 is taking an interesting twist. So Pamela Cartwright's conscience in The Stallion Returns. So this card is the Twin Hearts. This is the reconnection of 2 divine counterparts. I don't know if I want to go through the whole story again, but this is kind of like divine counterparts coming into reconnection or reunion or whatever it's typically called. This card was this book, The Stallion Returns. What happens here is Pam is one of the main characters. She's the owner of Thunder Rose Ranch. She has a divine counterpart, Edgar River Whitetail. But for some reason, she goes on some weird, she has like this weird like confidence thing going on. Like she doesn't really believe in her own worthiness, I think. And she goes on some like bender, like she's supposed to be going to some spa, and she goes on some weird like weekend thing, and she meets this valet, like parking valet at an antique place that she's at, a really high-end antique shop. And he's very good looking, very definite, very seductive, much younger than her. And she just decides for whatever reason to throw it all into the wind. Just like, oh gosh, I hope Edgar, I don't know what's going on with me and Edgar. Are we ever going to get married? Are we ever going to this, that, and the other? And she heads off on this like weekend with this guy. I don't even remember his name. And it's her conscience telling her like, oh, come on now. What's this going to hurt? This guy, he clearly wants you. You clearly want him. So just come on, just do it. Come on, for old time's sake. Come on. What's it going to hurt? And what ends up happening is they go off together and they have like a little like seductive, sultry rendezvous, all, you know, and she takes him with her to the day spa or the weekend spa or whatever she's going to. And why is that called karmic bonds? I guess because it was something that was supposed to happen like she didn't really want it to, but it had to happen. I think, yeah, it had to happen yes, I'm getting chills. It had to happen to show how much she really was so deeply connected to Edgar, because she takes this guy to the spa with her and they, you know, have a good time or whatever. And this is where she gets the stigmata. She goes into the bathroom and she's like, I just don't know what I'm doing. And most of what she was doing was like alcohol hazed stuff. You know, she started drinking and drinking and drinking and drinking at the antique place. And the valet guy started looking like better and better and better to her. And she, you know, threw caution to the wind, and she was feeling like not so confident in herself. You know, she's getting older. This guy was really young. He really was clearly turned on by her. She's beautiful. She's a beauty queen. And so when they go off together, and then when they get to the spa, you know, some of the alcohol starts to wear off and she's kind of like, what am I really doing here? And she gets a stigmata on her, a rose. And she then starts to kind of worry, and she starts like I think she telepathically, or higher self kind of starts calling out like to Edgar. And Edgar gets, that's her divine counterpart, he gets this telepathic like feeling, the guides, something pushes him to know that something is wrong with Pamela. And through a series of events, I don't even remember everything now, it's been so long since I wrote the book, he ends up finding her and not really rescuing her, because the valet guy sees the stigmata and he's very like religiously superstitious and he like runs off like, forget this. And then Edgar shows up to basically save Pam from herself. And I think it's then that she realizes how deep the connection and how deep the bond is between the both of them. And I think from that moment on, I've been working on the third book to this series and I haven't really gotten there yet, but I think from that moment on, Pam's pretty sure that Edgar is the one. But it took some weird like karmic experience, this guy showing up to kind of test her, is faith the right word? Test her faith? Test her, yeah, I just keep saying like test her faith, test the bonds. So maybe for you guys, this is like totally unexpected. It started out with Janine's needing some energy clearing. But maybe that is what's going to clear the energy here, is for those of you that are wishing for some sort of divine counterpart, and maybe that person is already in your life or hasn't showed up yet. They're saying it could be either way, that you could be tested. There could be this great final phase of releasing that happens between now and the solstice, where you are tested by a karmic partner, where that person comes in and they kind of make you feel all good and giddy and funny and what about yourself or whatever. I don't know who this is. This could be divine masculine. Then the karmic partner wouldn't be making you feel giddy if you're masculine, but they make you feel all good about yourself. Like, you know, they're trying to raise you up with all this sweet talk and stuff. And somehow something happens. I don't know if it's a stigmata, but something happens to where you realize they're not the one. They're not the one. And for Pam, like obviously this was like a one-night stand, and who knows maybe that's going to happen to you, but somehow something happens to make you realize the strength of the bond that you have with this other person. Even if you haven't met this other person yet, something happens either telepathically, you see something comes like into your vision of like this person. Maybe their higher self somehow communicates with you. And I think it's from that moment on that you realize that that person is the one. Whether you've talk to them yet or not. That's quite interesting. So that could be the energy clearing too that needs to happen, is this other person is your twin heart. This person that you've been dreaming about or wanting to know more about or wishing would show up. And you're going to be put to some sort of test to show you that there's no doubt that that person is the one. And that even some sort of weird karmic situation, it can no longer sway you, can no longer seduce you, can no longer make you question your heart. Because your heart, I think what it is your heart too has been focused on this other person, and this karmic bonds thing kind of keeps coming in to like tap, tap, tap at the chamber door, and help you realize like this really is over between me and this other person, and I need to get my act together. All right, so let's just see if there's any other final messages from my deck, Labyrinth of Dragonshire for group 2. Oh, well, there they go. Oh, that's okay. It's okay. Oh my gosh. No, I want to shuffle because these are the exact same cards that fell out. That's weird. Didn't I shuffle? I shuffled. Maybe I didn't. Hold on. Let's just shuffle. All right, that's fine. So they all kind of fell out. Let's just see if they show up again. Any other messages for group 2? Being cheeky. Might mean just the same people have showed up for both groups, but let's see what else we got. So it could be that you're coming from group 1. So we got the R, which is reinvent yourself. We got the B, which is ouch, my achy breaky heart. This is like my 3 of Swords. And we got the S. This is Samhain, the Samhain card, which is spirit, soul work, ghosts return. I'm telling you, rise, ancestors, and boo. Oh, what BS. Reinvent yourself. Yeah. It's time to move away from the past. It's time to start this new journey moving forward. Anything that comes up from the past that you know in your heart of hearts really shouldn't be doing, but it's coming up to test you one last time, is kind of like BS. This is all anyone that kind of made you feel hurt or not so strong or question your own, your own sense of self. It's a test coming back. And the way you can change things is to you'll no longer feel like you have any connection to this karmic one. And this reinvent yourself is you moving forward to really trust your heart, to know that what you've been feeling inside, what you've been hearing telepathically or whatever higher selves, whatever connection has been happening in the 5D, that person is your one. And you're going to have very clear guidance. I think once you pass this test, you're going to start getting very, very clear guidance on how to move forward towards this twin heart, towards your one, your divine counterpart. So that is exciting. All right, anything else we want to say? They're saying no. That's it. So thank you so much for joining me, group 2. I am happy to have read for you here, and I don't know what I'm talking about. We'll see you all again soon. Take care. Hello, group 3. Hello. You chose Archangel Hope. I don't know if she's an archangel. Maybe she's an angel. Angel Hope. I don't know. When you have hope, anything is possible. If you're coming from any of the other groups, welcome back. Welcome back. If you're not, then just a quick little update for kind of what we're working with here in terms of the blind spot, what's in your blind spot. Between now and the equinox, which I'm recording this on the 14th of March. The equinox is next week on the 20th, 21st. There's a new moon in there as well. That this is what's in your blind spot. Anything you need to work on or clear or be aware of. between now and then. And we're wrapping up. I think I gotta drink of water. We're wrapping up what's being called phase 1 of a journey that you've been on since 2020. At some point in 2020, right around the same time, you started on a journey, a healing journey, and this is like the graduation point. So in past shows, we've talked about, the 9-year cycles ending and 5-year cycles ending. This is some 3-year cycle that started in 2020. And this March equinox energies are ushering in some really high vibe stuff for the planet, high vibe energy upgrades and portal opening for newer, higher vibrational, higher relational reality timelines to unfold. And between the equinox and the solstice in June, manifestations, things you've been working on, things you've been wanting are going to start taking off. And then come the solstice in June, it's like you're already, all systems go, you're already on the phase 2 path of your journey, the next 3 years is what Spirit's been saying. So you got when you have hope, anything is possible. Let's kind of see what other messages you need to know about or be aware of. This is not my deck, but this is a new deck I received. Midnight City Tarot, set in New York City. I love it. And right now I'm having a New York City vibe. A lot of things being suggested to me about New York City. So I don't know what's going on with New York City as a sacred portal. This is a beautiful deck. And you got one card. Oh, well, you got the Fool card. Another group got this card as well. I like how the colors of this deck look with my decks. So let's pull out Loveland Spring Pack. Get a few other cards out on the table. See what this is. What's in your blind spot? What do you need to be aware of? Okay, we got 3 cards. We got Missing You. I don't know what's going on with the focus lately. Why I have to constantly be focusing in and out. I don't know. I'm sorry about that. It wasn't hard to say goodbye, Jillian thought. It was just the feelings that came afterwards that she couldn't fathom. So we're going to create a story here. You don't own me. Why does this feel like another relationship one? Like the phoenix rising, Linnell primped her hair and spritzed on bubblegum perfume. She would go to the dance without Larry. She was finally free. This is like a phoenix rising after a long journey, possibly involving another person. And planchette. With a strong focus, Melanie created her desire. The planchette only a tool. She was co-creating from a higher power. Let me see, I want one more card. This is my deck, Spring Fling. This is my creation. This is Leo energy. The lion. Be Lion's Gate. Could be a Leo that you're working with. Let's see. I feel like this message is very similar to group 2. There's a slight difference. There's a slight nuance. Oh, it's like this. Okay. Oh, this is very interesting. So if you're coming from group 2, this is very interesting. So if you're coming from group 2 and you're watching group 3 because you've been led to watch group 3, this is what the other side of the equation is going through. So you group 2, I feel like group 2 is like, they're saying it was it's a divine, that there's a very big divine masculine presence for group 2. So if were guided to watch group 3, it's because group 3 is what your divine counterpart, your divine feminine, is needing to be aware of. And also they just keep saying what they're going through. So that you have some window into the other, they just keep saying the other side of the equation. So if you're group 3 and you're like the divine feminine, You may be guided to watch group 2 to know what your divine counterpart, divine masculine, has been going through. So in terms of like blind spots for divine counterparts, you're getting a window into what each other is needing to kind of work on during this window of time that we talked about between now and the equinox. That's very interesting. So let's just unpack these. So for group 3, you kind of have the same, you have the kind of some of the same concerns as the other groups. Like, I just feel like I've been on this journey forever. So what we're saying here is what's happening now is a graduation from a 3-year journey, something that started in 2020. In 2020, group 3, you were very determined to remove a partner from your life, remove someone from your life who was no longer working out for you, was no longer working out, whatever the situation was, whatever the partnership was, you said, I can no longer handle this. And you asked Spirit to help you manifest a new beginning with the Fool card. You wanted your freedom from this situation. You felt like there was no way for you to move forward at the time because you were kind of purposely placed in this situation to learn a lot of soul lessons. And so you just became like the hangman / hangwoman. You felt like you were stuck, but your vibe, your consciousness has risen so high that you realize the bigger picture of what was going on around you and why the situation that you were in was the way it was, why it had to play out a certain way, why you were there, why you were basically quote unquote stuck there. You realized you weren't really kind of stuck there. You were realizing that Spirit had put you there for a certain purpose. It was to work through like a lot of different things, some karmic bonds, some loops, so much healing, so many layers and layers and layers and layers of healing were done over the past 3 years. But you also realized during that time that this partner you were with was someone you could no longer be with. And Spirit showed you through a series of many, many, many messages, many downloads, many visions and psychic readings and feelings and all this stuff, that there was somebody better out there waiting for you. Somebody who was also working on themselves, somebody who was also doing their own healing work, somebody who could treat you the way you deserve to be treated, somebody who was going to be waiting for you on the other side of all this healing work that you've been doing on yourself. And that you haven't been forgotten over this time frame. You may have felt a little bit like, stuff wasn't happening, but you realized that everything that was happening was because you asked for everything to happen for the highest and greatest good of all. And so anytime that you felt down about what was going on, you were reminded by your guides or reminded by Source, like, hey, this is what has to play out in order for things to happen for the best and highest good of all. And I think that may be part too of like the frustration with the time frame. It's like, geez Louise, I mean, how much longer do I have to hang on here and do this healing work with this person, knowing they're not my person? How long are you going to keep me here? How long are you going to make me pay? How long are you going to make me wait? How long are you going to make me wait? And so it sounds like for you, the journey has been one where you realize, because of your level of consciousness, like you realize what's going on. That doesn't mean, at times you don't get frustrated and you don't you don't lose hope, because sometimes you have lost hope and Spirit's had to come in and remind you like, hey, your manifestation is still on track. They're not going to give you any timelines, but I feel like we are getting a sense of a little bit of a timeline. Oh, they're saying don't go there. But something is happening between the equinox and the solstice. So if we don't want to get down into timelines, and you have to like keep your hope high and keep your spirits up and know that somewhere in that time frame, they're saying somewhere in that time frame, things are going to start turning around for you. Things are going to start moving forward. You're going to come out of this hanged man / hanged woman thing with this other party. You're going to be able to start setting in motion a plan to like a back out plan, an escape. I don't want to use the word escape, but like a back out plan is going to be set in motion to where you will be guided on exactly what you need to do to remove yourself from this situation. So it sounds like you're getting your like get out of jail free card. Like you felt like sometimes like you were in a jail, but all the work you've been doing is going to start to pay off, and you're going to start to see what you've been wishing for come into your reality. So let's get, if there's any more. Is it Spring Fling? Yeah. All right. Let's see. Oh, which one? This. Doodly-doo. Oh, Pentacles again. So this card came out in another group. This is, if this card's by itself, well, it's Earth energy, number one. It's also about manifestation. Pentacles is about things manifesting. It's also, when I get this card in a yes or no reading, this is my yes card. So Spirit's like just saying, you know, it's going to be a yes. All systems go. Yes, you're moving forward. Yes, it's finally happening. Yes, you need to celebrate. And yes, there's something more that's going to be showing up for you. So let's see here. Get some of these cards. Okay, you got the E. This is, it's not over till it's over, or is it? Only the heart knows. The A, all is not as it seems. Illusions surround you, wait. And the blank, like a blank rune. This is kind of like you're creating your own reality. You'll be free to create your own reality. So what's in your blind spot right now, I think, is the heart knows that whatever this situation you're in now is, it's been over, right, for quite some time. And I think you just, sometimes I think you need further confirmation that that's really true. Not that your heart, like sometimes you go back and forth, like maybe everything's okay. Maybe I'm just kind of dreaming. Maybe because I'm still here, I'm supposed to still be here. Sometimes you get a little like wishy-washy, and Spirit's like, no. Everything is not as it seems. When I get this card, it's kind of like the things that are around you now are not for your highest and greatest good. So to be very clear. And I think there could be some like vacillating energy between now and the equinox, the new moon, coming in to maybe like test your resolve a little bit, and possibly make you like drop your vibe down and make you feel like a little uncertain about what's going on. It feels a little like trickster energy at play. Is it a test or is it trickster energy? Or are they the same thing? It's neither. Well, what is it? They're saying it's a definitive feeling in your heart that, okay, so it's well, where am I getting this trickster thing from? They're saying we don't know. It's definitive feeling in your heart that this is really, really over, and that it's coming to an end, and that just because you're still in the situation, like just because you may still be like living with this person or in their company or to talk to them every day or whatever, does not mean that Spirit is not going to come in and somehow quickly remove them from your reality. Hence this blank card, like you don't know what's going to happen. You know what you asked for when you possibly back in 2020-ish, when you set the intention to be removed from this situation. And you know, it's not just an intention to, I mean, it was an intention because it's your free will choice, but in your soul blueprint, somewhere around this time frame, like this is supposed to be happening anyway. This whole thing is supposed to already be happening for you. A soul contract comes to an end, a new, more divinely inspired, higher vibe partnership is supposed to be happening right around this time. And just because in 2020 Spirit showed you what was going on. It was all part of the big plan. Spirit showed you what was going on. You had the free will choice to say like, well, no, I'll just keep staying here, because that could very well have happened, believe me. You could have just said, well, I don't deserve any better than this. I'm going to just stay here. But you've done enough soul work on yourself. Yeah, I'm getting chills there. You've done enough soul work on yourself. And especially between then and now, you did even more soul work on yourself to be like, heck no, I'm not going to take this anymore. This really is over. Sounds very similar to what's happening to pile 2. So there's mirroring happening, right? We did say this is divine counterparts. So it's not so much, it's slightly different, the situation and being involved. Like I won't go into pile 2, but this pile 3 is more like a longer term bond that's coming to an end. And you are really very sure in your heart now that this is over. And just because the new hasn't come in yet doesn't mean it's not going to come in. And we did see in the other piles, like the change is very rapid. When the new energy hits, sometime between the equinox and the solstice, the energies just push through so quickly to bring about rapid change, because everyone's clear that whatever these situations are, they're over now, right? Spirit knows it's over. You know it's over. You've been very clear. You have free will choice. You've said, I want to keep moving forward to the new. I still don't want to be in this situation. I feel like there have been checkpoints along the way when you could have changed your mind. You could have been like, well, no, I'll just stay here. And at each checkpoint, which were usually some sort of portal or some sort of like moon phase came along, some sort of eclipse, you had the opportunity to change your mind. And their Spirit's saying you never wavered. You never changed your mind. You were always very clear that this needed to be over with, that you wanted to move forward to something different. And now Spirit is saying your wish is being granted. So I think for you too, like this hope card, like you never gave up hope. You always felt like, I just keep going. I'll just keep going. Yes, this is over. Please get me out of here. I just want to keep going. I just want to keep going. And you had to pass through all these gates and portals and learning experiences, and your vibe had to rise to a certain height. And the other party that needs to come in had to align with you. And there was all this, hence the divine timing. All this stuff had to happen. And now it seems like it's finally going to happen. Let's get one final card from this little New York deck. Little New York Midnight City Tarot. Any final messages for group 3? Final messages for group 3. You got the Emperor and Justice. So we did say that this was the divine feminine side of the reading for between group 2 and group 3. Sorry if it's all spoiler alert, but so group 3, you are going to be getting your Emperor, your wish, because you're the Empress, right? You're going to be getting your Emperor, and justice will be done in this whole entire situation. So anybody that treated you poorly, karma will be repaid in kind. You don't have to worry about any of that. Anything that any scales that need to be balanced out, like let Spirit take care of all of that. And you just focus on, the new that's coming in, because the new that's coming in, I just got this sun and this moon here on the Justice card, the Emperor coming in. It's going to be, this person that's coming in is going to be like this bright ray of sunshine. It's going to be like night and day to the situation and the person that you've been dealing with now. They're just saying it's going to rock your world. So they're giving you, your guides are giving you congratulations on a job well done, and that you have what you need to see too, that maybe you're not seeing, is the bigger picture of the karmic loop that you have healed through the work that you've done here. Because any time that you could have changed your mind and said, no, I'll just stay in this situation, it wasn't an opportunity. It would set you back into a karmic loop that's been happening for you many lifetimes over with this same soul. And so for you to have the guts and the courage to move forward, even though you don't know where you're going, even though you are just working with God's promise that something better is coming, you have broken this karmic cycle between you and this other soul, and you will never, ever have to go through this with that soul again. The lessons have finally been learned. We're talking about lifetimes of this same type of situation with this party that we're talking about coming up over and over and over again. And now you've finally been able to raise your consciousness enough to realize, I'm not taking this anymore, no matter who this person is, no matter who they were supposed to have been to me, no matter how much they might mean to me. This is not appropriate. This behavior, these actions, this whatever that this person has been, that you've been dealing with, was not appropriate. And you finally are now able to have the self-worth and the confidence and the self-love to say you're not going to take that anymore and to break out of this cycle. So there's a big congratulations coming to you from Source, from your guides, for following your heart and following all the guidance that you've been given in this situation. So the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come, friends. All right, are there any other messages for group 3? No, Spirit says they are complete. So I want to thank you, group 3, for joining me here, and we will see you again soon. Take care.